All right, you lovely, lovely lot. Good evening from the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are. Welcome to this very special webinar all around what it looks like to be a practitioner from an RCP standpoint, whether you identify as a practitioner, aspire to be a practitioner, or you're just on the fence, this webinar is for you. So myself and the legend that is Big M, Morley Robbins, are going to be interviewing some of our past graduates around their experience in the Institute. So if you don't know me, my name's CJ. I am one of the tutors at the Institute. And Morley, you probably need no introduction, but would you like to say a quick hi?
Hi, delighted to be here. Delighted to be here.
Excellent.
Uh,
So we're going to be asking some of our lovely practitioners some questions to stir the juices for you to see if this is something that you would love to do. And of course, it wouldn't be right if we didn't hear from Morley and some cool stuff that he has found probably this morning over coffee, right, Morley? So Morley, would you like to share your screen, or if Will's going to share your screen?
I
And
think I think Will's gonna.
okay, perfect. So I can see those slides. So over to you, Morley.
Okay. Just two quick slides. Just want to introduce some interesting thinking here. This is an artist rendering. I don't think it's an actual photograph from 1665, but this is Isaac Newton discovering the prism, the properties of white light going through a prism to create the light spectrum. And it's a very cool image. I've always been fascinated by prisms, as I'm sure some of you all are as well. And the light spectrum is very important, not just outside our body, but inside our body. And I was a couple of days ago, I was reading about our sponsor, ceruloplasmin, which is the copper protein, and reading that there are at least six what are called chromophores. Well, those are light emitting parts of the protein. And I thought to myself, gee, I wonder if ceruloplasmin is really ceruloprism, and that's the magical agent inside our body to bring light. A lot of people love to talk about the importance of light in the mitochondria. What a lot of people don't know is that ceruloplasmin is inside the matrix of the mitochondria, thanks to Ludmila Puchkova from St. Petersburg, Russia, in 2005, made that bombshell discovery that no one talks about. But I'm drawn to this because my grandmother's brother, his name was Newton Matthews, and and legend has it that we were descendants of the Newton family, not John or not Isaac Newton, because he had no um, children and he had no brothers. It would be from another part of the Newton family. But that was always the story within the families that, oh, we're descendants of Sir Isaac Newton. And I've debunked that. But in any event, it's kind of fun to think about. The, just to prove that I don't descend from Isaac Newton, I failed calculus. He discovered calculus. But I came back strong the next semester and got an A in it. I just want you to know. But what the lesson I learned in college is that if you go to class, you do better in the course. It's like, okay, because it was so hard, I stopped going to class and I failed. So then the other slide I wanted to share with you real quickly. This will be on the final at the end of the presentation. So pay attention. Come on, sit up. um, I don't know whether we can make this image any bigger, Will, but it's there as it is. Um, this is where all the confusion is in the world of anemia. And I just want to put everyone at rest that we understand it, unlike anyone else on the planet. And I've been inspired by, I mean, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants in the field of iron metabolism, copper metabolism. Just it's absolutely amazing. But the epicenter of the confusion is this little cell here is an enterocyte. Enterocyte. It's the cell that allows the particles to come in, and then they've got to get from the enterocyte into the bloodstream. It's a very important mechanism. But here's the catch. This is only 5% of the iron we need in the body. The 95% comes from a recycling system that no one talks about. We talk about it within the root cause protocol because it's where the action is. And the preponderance of attention and focus in conventional nutrition and medicine is on this cell and how we've got to absorb more iron. Well, we do, but not nearly as much as they want us to believe we do. But I found this article this morning. You're right, CJ, it was over coffee. I almost fell out of my seat when I found it. I've never seen such a detailed display of all the players inside this dietary absorption of iron. And we're going to pick it apart and really have some fun with this slide. So I wanted to share very quickly uh, the the energy behind the RCP. We have some very heretical ideas. We're going to hear from 3 practitioners today who are doing some great work with their clients. But I want you to know there's a real solid body of evidence and knowledge and discernment that goes into teaching these practitioners what they do. And so you're familiar with a iceberg. You hear about the RCP at the top, where there's this huge bolus of knowledge that we have to support that little bit that you hear about. So just wanted to share that. Delighted that you're here. Thank you for taking the time. And now I will turn it back to CJ and we'll get started.
Oh,
Well,
brilliant.
thank you for that assistance. Yeah, that's great.
Guys, if that got your juices flowing, you will love the course. Honestly, Morley brings up-to-date new research from his coffee mornings every week. So I look forward to that. I look forward to that every Thursday during class. Okay, so what I'd like to do is do a quick round of introductions to our 3 lovely practitioners and just understand who you are, what kind of practitioner you are, and when you actually did the RCP training. So let me go around my screen and ask the lovely Amy if you could introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself. And then I will do another round of questions where we'll dig into a little bit more detail around how you found the course, etc. So over to you, my lovely Amy.
Hi. Yep, my name's Amy. I am from Group 22. I found the course right before it started last, I think it was around July or June. I am an out-of-hospital midwife. I have my own practice up in North Idaho. And yeah, what else did you want to know about me?
I think that's good for now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, amazing. How many RCP babies have you delivered, Amy?
They've started in October, so I am very excited for 26 because wow, did I see some stuff in 25.
Wow.
Liver issues, and I was over it, and that kind of pushed me into there's got to be more, and I need to figure this out because this what I'm doing isn't working, and I'm tired of risking mama's out.
Oh,
Yeah, so they started in October. It's been going great, actually.
brilliant. So when I come back to you, we're going to expand on that and hear all
Yep,
these stories. So that's amazing. Nice to have you here. Thank you, Amy.
you're welcome.
The lovely Crystal Peters, who is in actually my tutor group, so is a little favorite of mine. Crystal, would you like to introduce yourself to us? Let us know what kind of practitioner you are and the group that you trained in.
I was in group 22 as well, and I have over 2 decades in the medical field, both holistic, functional, and traditional medicine, allopathic, and really always looking for the root cause and trying to find the root cause. But after years of searching and looking for answers that traditional training and even holistic training never really provided, I found them in the root cause protocol. And ever since that, I mean, my practice, my life has been completely transformed over the last year. And I feel like I finally have answers that can actually help people. So it's been an amazing year.
Wow, that's profound. Amazing. Thank you so much. I look forward to digging into that a bit deeper as well, Crystal. Michelle, could you give us a quick intro? Tell the world who you are, and I think you're Group 22 as well. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, Group 22. I'm from South Africa. I'm currently the only RCPC in South Africa, so that's exciting for me. I skidded into the course in the 11th hour, I think on the Sunday before you guys started on the Tuesday. So I didn't do all the proper onboarding, but Laura got me caught up. And from the first Tuesday that we met, I was already excited and taking it to people. And so I have clients who've been with me right through from day one.
Wow, that's amazing. And you have introduced the RCP to them.
Correct. So I'm a health coach. I'm a functional medicine health coach, FMCA in the United States, 2018. And I'm a live blood analyst from 2020. And the last 6 months, I've seen more clients and referrals than I have in the last 6 years.
Wow, they know when they're onto a good thing. That's amazing, Michelle. Really happy for you and your clients. So you've heard from our three lovely guests and a real wide range of experience, deep knowledge, all from different areas, and it's fascinating how RCP is complementing their practices. So let's dig in a little bit deeper, and I'm going to come back to you, Amy. Could you tell us a little bit about how you found the course? How was it for you? What was the part that you enjoyed the most, and what was the most challenging part of the course?
Yeah, I found the course on social media. I had been following it for a bit and it just kind of was in the background and I kind of paid attention here and there, but life's busy and I just kept moving on. And it wasn't until I got really frustrated with the influx of stuff I was seeing with moms having just, I risked out twice the amount I normally do. This in 2025 and it just kind of pushed me into this as well as my own health issues. I have the thyroid stuff going on, but it's going away. And those things kind of pushed me into the RCP. So there was a post, I saw it and I was like, I guess I'm gonna try it because I'm really frustrated and I felt like I've been getting nowhere for a lot of years. So it the best part, I mean, man, the whole time I just sat felt like I sat there with my mouth open like how did I not know this before? My whole family, my friends are just hear me jabber about it through the whole entire process, the whole course, always the next thing. They have now been blessed with the glasses of the RCP and cannot not see it anymore out in their own workplaces. Um, and so the best part I think was how much support I had like in the RCP. So if I got stuck or frustrated or I didn't understand a concept, I knew I could just reach out and I always had support. Um, and the the hardest thing that took me the longest to wrap my mind around was what Morley had said, his statement of there is no medical disease, there's only the metabolic dysfunction from mineral dysregulation. It took almost the whole entire time of the course for me to wrap my brain around that because I've been so, in the system of we have this disease and I hope I don't get that and it runs in my family and I hope, I wish, I hope, all the things. And I just didn't realize how much we have control in some ways over these things and it really matters what we don't put in our mouths and what we do and how our stress affects um, our minerals in everyday life. Since the RCP got started for me last year, I have slowed my midwifery practice down because I understand how much stress impacts myself and how I want to stay healthy. So I've slowed that practice down, which has been great. I've been so scared of that for a long time. And now I have a second practice. that doesn't have emergencies and doesn't wake me up at night. So that is really picking up speed now. So I'm really excited about all of it.
That's amazing. So your magnesium burn rate has reduced somewhat.
Yeah.
So that's great. So you're going to get healthier, and
Yeah.
that means you'll be able to help your lovely clients even more. So that's fantastic. I was going to ask you what the biggest thing was that you had to unlearn. You did touch on it. Is there anything else you can think of that was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that that is true?
It's got to be the D, the hormone D. I just once I started, got this info going in my brain and I started connecting things for myself, and when my health really started to decline as far as thyroid stuff and Hashimoto's and things, I put two and two together, and it I just it was shocking. And I'm thankful I learned it when I did. And it is the biggest thing that people will struggle with. My clients can chuck their prenatal vitamins like no problem. But when I ask them about if they're taking D, unless they've been my client previously and that trust is built, they really struggle. And so I'm happy to give them info and things, but the D is huge.
It
Um,
is. So you can see Morley and myself are furiously nodding with you in agreement. And you've picked on the most controversial
mhm.
of
Yeah,
our
yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty frustrating actually. So to
really,
deal with.
really, I'm shocked. I'm very
Yeah, I
surprised.
know, right?
So real quick, because that's a very important point of differentiation. Um, Here's what I learned this morning. Um, so we know that a famous study was done at Yale Medical School in 1962 by Thomas Ferris, and the title is Vitamin D Supplementation Causes Renal Potassium Wasting. Maybe one of the most important articles I've ever read, and certainly have shared with the community. So that's the backdrop. And I was talking with a colleague about sleep apnea, and there's a lot of potassium wasting. I never knew that about sleep apnea. So if you know the formula A equals B and B equals C, well, then A equals C. It's a reasonable conclusion. So what I learned this morning is that lack of copper suppresses aldosterone. And so when you have a break on aldosterone, you're going to have renal potassium wasting. Didn't know that. I for some reason had never connected those dots. So that's A equals B. Then we find out that we know that vitamin D causes renal potassium wasting. Oh, that's B equals C, right? So then flipping the letters around, I think what's really going on with the absurd levels of vitamin D supplementation is that vitamin D is causing copper deficiency. So it's going to take a while to prove that, but I just want you to know that it is a very heretical stance that we take. But it's not because we're in a bad mood. We're trying to get back to how do we avoid symptoms or the perception of dis-ease, as you talk about it, and get people to realize that there's more to the story than the headlines they get off of the internet, off of social media. So that's a wonderful example of new thought, mind-blowing thought, and it is very hard to get people to accept that. I think I commend you for taking that on. I mean, it's a very stress-inducing conversation to have with people, as you well know. So,
Thank you, Molly. For those of
absolutely.
you that don't know what renal potassium wasting is, it just means you are losing potassium through the kidneys at a rate of knots. So we often see very low potassium levels when we look at the HTMA levels for people who have been intoxicated by vitamin D.
And again, real quick, the reason why potassium wasting is so dangerous is that when the cell loses potassium, iron has an easier time getting inside.
There you go, changes the whole dynamics.
Yeah.
So, Amy, just to finish on, where from here for you? So you've packed up your midwifery practice, or slowed it down. You've now become RCP extraordinaire, and you have this new practice. What can we see from you in the next 12 months? What's on your bingo card for 2026?
Yeah, well, I apparently can't stop learning. So, I have decided that I need to expand on my nutrition knowledge. So I have been hesitant a little bit because I know I'm going to run into some things that don't agree with the RCP. So I'm like, there's always going to be something, but it's all right. I'll get through it. So next month, I already have enrolled in a nutrition course, so I'll be a NTP, nutritional
Oh,
therapy
okay, sure.
practitioner. Yeah,
There
so
are a lot of graduates from that program that have gone through the RCP.
oh good. Yeah. I
Yeah,
know I've looked ahead and I'm like, okay, which one am I going to be less frustrated with? Um,
yeah.
and so I just wanted to more background on nutrition. And so that's where I'm headed. It's a year-long course and it's gonna be some work. And now I have two practices to run. So, but guess what? I have more energy, so
There you go.
it's all good.
Keep
Yeah.
up the RCP, stress resilience becomes much better. So you'll be able to have full practices this time next year. So well
Yeah.
done, Amy.
Thank you.
So let me ask our next lovely guest, Michelle. Michelle, tell us a little bit about how you found the RCP training and maybe touch on what you enjoyed the most and if there was a particularly challenging part for you, because it is an intense course.
So from the very, very first recorded video that I watched on the Sunday before the first class, I felt like I came home because Morley used the quote about the illiterate of the future, which I already had up on my wall. And I have a blackboard. I run a health shop, and I have a blackboard in the health shop reminding people about the body's ability to heal itself and the way Western medicine has tried to blindside us into believing that we're deficient in their drugs. So, for a lot of reasons, there was this immediate connection with this man I didn't know. And then he started saying all these things about these supplements that I've made my money from for 18 years. And I was scrambling all over the internet trying to find proof that he was wrong. And none of it was wrong. And it took me about 3 months to just calm down and just accept that it was true and that I didn't know and I hadn't asked enough questions and I had been suckered into the system despite the fact that I always felt like I was swimming upstream and I was outside the model and all the things I told myself. And it was very difficult for me to forgive myself for what I didn't know.
Wow, it's heavy. It's big.
That's proof. That is a big one, Michelle. And I think most practitioners that come on board with us have that same journey. It's a huge thing because you spent your whole career, well, your training for could be up to 10 years. Your whole life's work, okay, has just been flipped on its head completely. Yeah, and you can feel the type of way for selling people those products, for recommending people those products. But, we do the best we can with the information we've got. And it's amazing that you now learn that, well, you know that now, and you can, move forward with it, Michelle. So what does it look like for you now? Now that you know what you know, do you still have your supplement company? What are you doing?
So yes, I still have the health shop and I have, so similar to what Amy has done, I have created much more clear boundaries between hours in the health shop and hours in my clinic. I don't know what else to call it, so I call it a clinic where I do my coaching and live blood analysis. And then I actually take my uniform shirt off. So I'm not aligned to the health shop. I can say the things, I don't work from inside the shop. I can say the things that are more authentic. And mainly when I'm in the health shop, I'm managing and running the business and I leave my staff to deal with the customers because I can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just goes against your soul now, right? To give
Yeah.
people vitamin D,
Yeah.
etc.
So I polished my halo on that one because I can honestly say in 18 years, I've never ever recommended that as a supplement to any single person. And though we keep 5,000 IU vitamin D supplements or hormone D, I've never willingly sold it to someone. I've always tried to talk them down. I've never recommended it to anyone as part of a protocol. So I was quite pleased about that.
That's huge. Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. So now that you've incorporated, so you've been a health coach for many years, and now with your additional RCP training, what does it look like now compared to how you used to run your business before? Which parts of RCP have blended seamlessly into your clinic? Yeah, tell us what you're doing. And I know you've got some slides to show us as well.
So none of it blended seamlessly. It was all difficult.
Well, at least you're honest.
But it was so naturally the correct way to go that there wasn't a hiatus. So I don't have to stop doing it the way I had been doing it in order to do it the new way. It was just something that I automatically did because the only way to see things now is through, like Amy says, through the lens of the RCP. So I've been a lifelong student because I've been constantly looking for answers since my little boy was misdiagnosed with leukemia at 2 years old. I've been on a constant search. And up until 2018, I did the health coaching. In 2020, I did a live blood analysis. In between, I did some anatomy and physiology. Things were not making sense to me. So you see connections in the blood, you see connections in the eyes when you listen to people that just didn't make sense. It's like going out to the night sky where nobody tells you what to do with the stars, and you create an owl and a pig and whatever you want out of the stars until somebody shows you, look, there's the arrow and there's the belt, and then it all makes sense. So that's kind of how it was for me. I was in fact going to sell my live blood microscope in January and give up the coaching and retire, and just not do it anymore because none of it made sense. And now I'm busier than ever, and there's no question of retiring.
Oh, I love that, Michelle. You've only just begun. Life has just started
Correct.
for you. Yes.
Correct.
Literally just started. That's amazing. Would you like us to share your slides that you sent in and talk us through what we're looking at there, Michelle, in terms of the live blood analysis?
Yes, a pleasure. So I spoke to Laura and she asked me for before and after pictures of a client who had come for live blood analysis, and I had dealt with him directly as an RCP person. He didn't know me before. I had never not seen him prior, so he didn't know me any other way. So he was a total he was an RCP guy, 45 years old, stress ball, and he had severe gout, and he was experiencing double vision to the point where he couldn't drive. So what you can see on the screen is all those circles are red blood cells, and they all overlap like that because they've lost their ability to repel each other in the plasma, which should be thin and full of minerals like a seawater, and it isn't that at all. And if you have a look at I want to point to my screen instinctively. If you have a look around 3 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock, you can see there's a round cell next to an oblong cell, and it's got a clear yellow center. And that yellow center, when you look at it live, is actually flickering. And it's called flimmering in live blood, which is a combination of the words flickering and flimmering. And live blood analysis says there's no iron in that cell. The client is anemic. So that's the first thing on that picture. And then you can see at around 12 o'clock, there's one cell that looks like a bottle top, and that is a dehydrated red blood cell. It's already turned from a grape to a raisin, and the cell wall's completely broken and the cell is dehydrated. And you can also see that the background should be clear, and there's lots of the fluorescent or the bright colored things are undissolved crystals. There's little bits of what looks like matchsticks or chopsticks in the top right corner. There's little round circles all over. It's like debris in the plasma, which I know now from the RCP should be like seawater. And this man's plasma is more like an egg yolk, egg white texture, so that the cells are not moving well through it. So this was gout, lots of pain, lots of gout medication, lots of anti-inflammatories, lots of pain. And one of the most specific things in the sample, so this is about 1/20th of everything you see in a live blood. Even though you're taking one finger prick, you get a phenomenal amount of information. And usually one should see between 20 and 30 neutrophils per sample, and this man had none. So, so the RCP stops were the first thing, his multivitamin, the zinc, grapeseed extract, all the anti-inflammatories. He was drinking a South African product that's designed as sold as an alkaliner, called alkaline powder, and it has so many ingredients in it. It has 18 ingredients, including sugar. So he was off that. So the first thing was to get him to do all of the stops. And then we slowly started with minerals, mineral water, adrenal cocktails, stress management, time management, slowly introduced Epsom salts, foot spas, and the process went over approximately 3 months. By the end of the second month, he was almost pain-free. And you can pull up the next slide, and then you will see the difference.
Did that change?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What a difference.
Yeah, he was almost pain-free at this point, though his vision was still blurred. You can see there's 2 white blood cells there, which there weren't any before. They're not particularly healthy. They should have 4 distinct nuclei, and they should not be round because they segue through the blood like amoebas. So they're not particularly healthy, but as a 1-month check-in, he was doing amazingly well. The red blood cells are loosened from each other. They're not clumping and clustering like they were, though there are some that are not round, still a little bit broken. But we can address that. And actually by month 3, his vision had cleared and he was driving again. So it was a huge success. Some of the ways that live blood left me stranded where the RCP filled in the gaps was live blood analysis focuses mainly on the red blood cells and the white blood cells. It doesn't pay any attention to the plasma. We can see that there's broken red blood cells in the sample, though they're not ridiculously broken. They're not round. And the spleen should be recycling those, and that's not happening efficiently. And that is just glossed over in the live blood analysis training. No emphasis is being put on the fact that the spleen is part of the larger recycling system that is not working properly if you're seeing those broken red blood cells in the sample. So there's not a lot of taking a bird's eye view. There's still that whole looking through a narrow lens and trying to fix what you see, which is, it doesn't suit me, and it's better the way the RCP takes the bird's eye view of the terrain and trying to rebalance the whole thing.
Oh, I love this, Michelle. And I think it's a excellent case study to show clearly the differences in a visual. Of course, nobody else needs to do live blood analysis to be easy. The proof is in the pudding. So the proof is your client felt different, felt well, pain was released, symptoms subsided, and you could obviously evidence that with your live blood sample. So I think that's absolutely fascinating.
Correct. I have already picked up a client from the root cause protocol consultancy advisory where people go and look for a consultant, and he's very far away from me, even though he's in my same country. He's never going to come for live blood analysis. But I'm secure from seeing pictures like this with clients like this. I'm secure that when I work with him, even though I'll never see his blood, I'll know what's happening on the inside.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I think it's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thanks for
Just real
letting me
quick,
do that.
just so people know that when there's a lack of neutrophils, that's a clinical sign of copper deficiency. When the when the red blood cells are stacking, in this case it was just overlapping, but there's something called rouleau, where there may be 10 or 15 or 20 red blood cells stacked like at the casino, like casino chips. That's a sign of iron overload from lack of copper. And the fact that white blood cells came back, maybe not in ideal form, but they came back. Thank copper for that, and thank the shift in the mineral balance inside the body. And the other thing I would just point out is that when you've got the red blood cells in this kind of formation in the second slide, you have access to more oxygen, which means you're going to have access to more energy. When they're overlapping or they're stacked, the oxygen concentration is completely different than they are in this slide. So I think what I love about these images is it's a very simple graphic demonstration of before and after that we've never experienced in the root cause protocol. I think it's really, I'm not suggesting that we're all going to run out and buy microscopes now, but I think it's a really powerful indication of the impact that we can have at a cellular level. And by your client's experience, the pain has gone away, they're driving. I mean, how do you put words to that, and the value of that for someone's lifestyle is
Correct.
unbelievable.
And the thing is
very-
that live blood analysis, the training is missing this mineral component, right? When they see the rouleau, they tell you it's a digestive insufficiency, and that is the blanket statement. And they don't pay any heed to the trauma behind some of these
Yeah.
anomalies, which is like it's a front and center issue. So there are a few missing links, and I did phone Oka in my enthusiasm and tell him he'd lost the plot because in January I paid him a lot of money to do the advanced live blood analysis because I knew I didn't have the information I needed to join the dots, and I paid these thousands and thousands and thousands of rand to do an advanced course that didn't take me anywhere, didn't give me anything I didn't already know, and it didn't answer any of these questions for me. So I'm glad the two of you are speaking. It's the most exciting thing that's happened to me since June 2025.
Well, I've had 3 conversations now with Aker and Elizabeth, so we're going to do something with this experience that you're having. So it's very, very exciting. So thank you for just. I mean, it's a wonderful interface between 2 modalities, and that's very exciting. Very, very cool.
It is. Thank you so much, Michelle. You are indeed the Oracle now. So that's going to be your new nickname, the Oracle. So thank you very much for sharing. So we have the lovely Crystal waiting patiently in the wings to tell us all about her experience. So let's welcome Crystal to the stage. And can you tell us, Crystal, a little bit about how you found the course? What was the best bits? What were the bits you found most challenging? And then I'll ask you a little bit about your practice at the end.
Okay, well, let me just start with the fact that no matter how all of these practitioners, all these people from different walks of life, no matter how you measure health, whatever lab value it is, whatever blood you're looking at, is it a healthy pregnancy? Is it a healthy baby? Is it lab work? Is it DNA? It doesn't matter. The thing that really, it's the truth. And the principle or the philosophy that we come back to is that truth is that which explains everything. and leaves nothing in contradiction. And the RCP is 100% that. And so I love following these people because it's telling us it doesn't matter how you measure it. It's going to be true. And that's what really drew me to the RCP. And honestly, another thing, listening to everybody's stories and how they get to the RCP, mine is no different. It's divine intervention. I don't know why I ended up here now. I would have loved to skip a lot of pain and learning in my life and had this information 20 years ago when I started my career. But I think I needed to learn all the other things so that I had understanding and so that I had questions still. And I think because I was facing health challenges myself and somebody that has done everything right, the healthiest person anybody knows, and yet I had health issues, and my patients the same way. And I had finally come back to a place of kind of feeling that, a universal power, having faith again. And it had been a lot of years where maybe I didn't have that. And I prayed for clarity and truth, and I was looking on the internet for answers, and suddenly this Morley Robbins, who's been around doing things for 15 years that I never heard of, comes into my vision, I hear his voice and I hear his words, and it's, he has the answers. That it's not symptom management, it's not temporary fixes, it's all the right answers, the true answers. It gives language and structure and science to what we intuitively knew, that our bodies are meant to heal. So, it's amazing to hear these stories, and, I just love it so much. I just want everybody to know, but I do feel like everybody has to come to this in their own correct season. So, then I think you asked me next was the most difficult thing to kind of take in or believe in the RCP. And I think anything that I really felt was healthy before and learned was a little bit hard. I think the fact that copper is not toxic and vitamin D is not protective, have been the biggest changing, but they also were really logical. So I almost think that the copper not being toxic was harder to swallow than the vitamin D, because once you kind of hear about the vitamin D and you realize it's been pushed so hard, and there's plenty of research, I feel like, to back that up, whereas a lot of research will still say, but copper's toxic, but copper's toxic. So I think that's been the hardest thing to, once I wrapped my mind around it, to kind of explain and educate people about, so that they can really have the truth replace that fear and confusion. But yeah, I don't know. What was the other question?
Yeah, maybe you could just maybe speak to how you actually found the actual format of the training, what levels of support you had, what it looked like for you. How did you manage to fit it in to your life, even as a busy practitioner and mum?
Yeah, you know what? I think when things are meant to be, they do work out. Amazingly, it's really odd because my practice was definitely less busy while I was doing the RCP, but in full disclosure, I made just as much money during those weeks, which is a miracle in and of itself. I didn't lose any money, and I was always able to pay my bills and everything. So I really think that when you have your heart in the right place, things are going to work out. And I think having the faith to make those leaps, the same way when the first lecture about vitamin D came up and I had to throw away thousands of dollars worth of vitamin D supplements and write a letter to my patients saying, but I knew it was the right thing to do. So I did it, and nothing went wrong, because I think, knock on wood, because I think when your heart's in the right place and you tell people, hey, I shouldn't have done that, I didn't know, but now I know, and this is what we're dealing with, it was accepted pretty well. Of course, my favorite part of the course were my tutorials.
Of course they were.
And
Who was your teacher, Crystal?
You were, CJ.
Oh, me?
You're lovely, and I love you so much. And of course, I was really grateful how much time we get to spend with Morley and to learn from him. I just feel so blessed and honored to be a part of this, and uh, it's just wonderful. I mean, as a matter of fact, I just last night signed up one of my employees to do the RCP training. So look for Ellery Joy. She's amazing and brilliant, and she is taking a semester off of nursing school. So she's about halfway through. But
Wow.
I'm interested to see how this goes and how this affects her. Sometimes I've told her, you're kind of too good for nursing school. Not that I'm a nurse practitioner. I love it. I'm so grateful for how I went through things and what I learned. But it's a lot of being a cog in a wheel and in the system, and they don't let you use a lot of critical thinking. And she's just far too bright for that. So I'm kind of trying to get people, hopefully every year I'll have another person doing the training that works for me or is working with me.
Wow, I love that. That's amazing. So let's go around everyone, one last question, and ask for anyone that's either online now that's thinking, should I be doing this course or not? Or anyone that's watching the replay, what would you be telling them about the course if they were thinking about doing it? Krista, let's come back to you.
Well, personally, I think it's the most important education I've ever gotten. And much like the other practitioners here today, I would say that I was a serial student. As a matter of fact, when I met my husband, I was finished my bachelor's degree, was starting my master's degree, and he just said to me, "You would be a professional student if you could." And I would have. I love learning, and I have learned a lot. I feel like I've gained, constantly researching, constantly learning. But now I feel like the focus is the energy is so much better directed. And this was by far and above the most important course I've ever taken. It absolutely has all the information if you're interested in being healthy or helping your family or having a practice. Honestly, I hesitated the most because I thought, after reading Morley's book, listening to every podcast he was on, and with how much free content there is that you guys give away, I thought, well, there's nothing more. I can do this on my own. I don't need anything more. And what is just amazing is that it just keeps going deeper and deeper, and there is more, and there's more, and there's still more. It's like this matrix of learning where you could go down every single different rabbit hole forever and just learn and learn and learn. And you don't have to, though. The other thing is great because it's actually really simple and it works. So you can take this as far as you want, as deep as you want, or you can stay as superficial as you want. It's going to work in whatever way you want it to work for you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Crystal. And just to add that I trained in group 1 with Morley, and I have actually done I think 16 or 17 iterations of this course. And I've learned something completely different every time I've done it. So it constantly evolves. Morley will not stop his coffee morning researchers. So he's always bringing new stuff in. So there you go. Never stop learning. Amy, let's come to you. What's the one thing you would tell somebody who was thinking about doing this training? What would you say to them?
I would say you have to do this. I have been practicing for a lot of years, and this has floored me on a whole nother level. It, I always feel like there's just never a good time, right? Being a midwife, I'm always running to births and everything. And this, 2025, when I took the class, not one live class did I miss. Everything really just worked out. The babies were very kind to me. And I am so thrilled that I could help my clients in a whole new way and start seeing results so quickly with them with simple steps. And I was intimidated a little bit in the beginning about how deep it goes into like the cells and the biology. Kind of like I don't come from that kind of background, but the way Morley teaches and the tutorials and the live class and all the things, it really does help explain things. And I could grasp not everything, but for the most part, I could really get a good grasp of it. And I was so excited. I'm like telling my family, I'm like, did you know how many cells? And did you know this happens? And this door has to open in this direction? And, and they're like, oh. And they would just let me ramble on. It was great. But just, I'm so thankful. So thank you, Morley, for everything, because I had no clue this whole time. I didn't know what I didn't know. Um,
That's right.
and I don't see, those hemoglobins coming in are fantastic at 28 weeks. Um, I just had my first one be a little bit low at 28 weeks, and
Mhm.
I knew exactly. I was like, she's not eating right, and she wasn't, and so I got her back on track. But otherwise, I mean, I see less issues. I don't have the phone calls I had before with clients
Right.
and all the little things that are common complaints in pregnancy, and labors are smoother, and contraction patterns are nicer, and uh, you have to do it. You're going to see things in a completely new lens, and you will constantly be filtering your new lens everywhere you go. But it has been amazing, and I'm so excited that I get to help my family. Um, with all of it. And my husband just did his first blood donation. He was when I
Oh,
started,
wow.
this is funny, when I started the RCP, and I was like, "Hey, so blood donations are like a thing?" And he's like, "I will never do that." Like he doesn't even want regular blood drawn for like a lab test. And over time, as he's been hearing me chitter chatter all about all the things, and not feeling so good, he's just been like, maybe. And so yesterday we just went down and he did his first blood donation, and
Right.
I'm excited to see how he does going forward. So yeah, I did not go wrong. This was one of the best choices I've ever made for myself, my family, and my practice.
Oh, brilliant. That's amazing, Amy. That's a strong evidence there.
Yeah.
Michelle, in 30 seconds or less, what would you say to anyone who is thinking about doing the course?
Well, I'll speak to everyone who isn't in the United States because um, you guys are very, I think, unaware of the challenges that face people outside of your diaspora. So it's 11 o'clock at night for me now. So this was all challenging, especially in your winter. Um, but it was always so exciting. I never needed to nap. I was never really drowsy at the beginning of a call. It was all very easy to get to. The supplements are a challenge outside of the United States, but I knew that it would be like that before I went into it. So I was ready. It's not my first rodeo. I was ready for that challenge. And seek and you shall find. I found people who do grass-fed beef liver. I found people who are importing cod liver oil. I found people to make adrenal cocktails, and all of those things have happened. Um, the RCP started off for me with my lifetime diagnosis of anemia. So now that I've done my third blood donation, and people can see how that went for me, the ripples just don't ever stop. And I never listen to Morley. I never see Morley's face without having a pencil and a piece of paper because there are always notes to take.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. I have got a few slides to go through. Literally a couple of minutes, some information, some good information that you might want to check out with some links. So please hang on for the next few minutes. But ladies, I'd like to thank you first for all your efforts, your presence here, the energy that you've brought has been phenomenal. I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to your stories about how it's impacted you and your clients, your practices, and I'm super excited to see where you're going to be in a year's time from now. I think you're going to conquer the world, just like Morley's doing. So that's fantastic. Molly,
And I want you all to know I've got a callus now on my finger for pressing the blush button. You all are very kind. Thank you for your kind words. I want to make sure people know that we need to acknowledge Mother Nature. All we did on the RCP was dust off the natural order of things, and it's been an absolute delight and honor to be able to do that. But I appreciate the kudos, but it's really we're drawing on the wisdom of Mother Nature is really what we're doing.
Brilliant. Let me share my screen really quickly. I won't keep you any longer than needs be. Let me put it into presenter mode. So if you are interested in doing the course and joining the Institute with Morley and the rest of the team, doors are still open. Online, it says they're shut, but this is a special extension for you guys. So until January the 26th, you can join us. The link is there. It would be great to see you there. Of course, if you've got any questions around the course, you can email in and we'll do our best to answer them. But yeah, be great to see you there. If a conference is your type of thing, Morley's only gone and organised one with his team. Big conference in Colorado in February. Dates are 27th to the 28th. It's called Ignite the Innate Healer. So we've got a brilliant lineup of speakers. Oh my goodness, I'm on there as well, everybody. So I'll be talking to you about parasites and RCP, and we've got a whole host of big names. Dr. Ben Edwards, we've got Dr. Shelley Cole. Oh, you can see the names there, but it's going to be a great 2-day event. So you can still get your tickets for that, I believe. So it'd be lovely to see you there for that. There's the little link. Now, if the Institute training is a little bit much for you to get your head around at the moment in terms of costs or length, then there is something else that you could do in the meantime. You can dip your toe in, if you like. So Morley has designed some short courses. So if you would like to get to the root cause of your situation and uncover the truth about iron deficiency in the blood versus iron dysregulation in the body, you can either do a starter course or a deeper dive into anemia course. The starter course is only 90 minutes, so most people can manage that. It will provide clear, concise information. The deeper dive course is a little bit longer, 3 hours long. It's perfect for practitioners, lifelong learners, or anyone who wants to get the whole story with maximum clarity. So that's on the website. The link is there. So maybe you want to have a look at those first before joining. Just know that there is only one intake of the RCP Institute for 2026. If you don't join this time, it won't be until 2027. So you might want to just download these and just see if it's for you and then try and get in before the 26th of January. He's only gone and
TJ, I think
yep.
just go back real quick. Just go back to the slide, if you would. I think we should change the title of the courses. Anemia, is there morally to the story?
I think
I've never seen that before until today. My apologies. Okay, go
we
back.
can definitely do that for you. He's only gone and written another book, everyone. This is the second edition of Cure Your Fatigue. So what's new in this edition? So there are deeper insights into the 5 most common signs of copper iron dysregulation. So you're going to have a bit more information. What I love about this is Morley's latest coffee research and case studies is in there. That's showcasing the transformational power of the RCP. Now, you won't get this in most other books. There's a section outlining 290 footnotes to support the findings and recommendations of RCP. Isn't that amazing? So all backed up for you. There is also a specific chapter on women's health. This includes pregnancy issues, miscarriages, PCOS, endometriosis, etc. So there's something in that book for everybody. You can follow the link. Is it still on Amazon, Morley? Can people get it on Amazon still?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazon, all the typical buyers, but you can now go into a physical store and
And
order
buy
it
it.
and buy it there.
Brilliant. And if you do read it
Mhm.
and you think it's amazing, write a review so that other people can hear about it as well. There is also a free starter guide that you can download. This is good, it's free. Free RCP starter guide. It's brief, it's an easy to follow guide that will get you on your way. Perfect for printing out your little Bible there in the house so that you can read to your heart's content. If you are looking for one-to-one coaching with an RCPC, I would say the majority of people who see the best progress often have a guide at the start. Okay, you don't need it, but it's helpful. What about our three practitioners that have given their stories today? You can find them on the RCP Consultant Directory. You can also find all of us on there. So by region or by expertise, maybe you just like the look of someone. You think, yes, they resonate with me. So everybody is on there, and most people work remotely and globally. So if you are getting your head around the protocol, and you'd like to have somebody, take you through it, hold your hand a little bit, this is the place where you get some help. The link is just there, so you can do a screenshot on that one. And I think one more slide. If you have any questions, if you are looking for a little bit more information, we have a community. So you can join the RCP Premium community. It's a like-minded community, and it's also got a private forum, which is brilliant. It's away from social media. There's no censorship. It's not going to be taken down like Facebook could. And a lot of the trained RCPCs are on there, and we have brilliant moderators as well answering all your questions. You also get 2 live Q&As a month with Morley, so you can ask all your questions there. This is amazing. You also get access to 5 years worth of recorded Q&As and webinars. They all have transcripts as well, so you can even just print out the transcripts and have a read through them. It's really a wealth of knowledge there. So if any of that has tickled your fancy, there is the link to joining the community. So you can pick whichever one suits the level you would like to go in with. So all that's left for me to do is thank all you lovely participants. So we've still got 71 online. Thank you very much for joining us all. Sharing is caring. So why not share the recording of this with your friends, with your families, any other practitioners that you think might benefit from the training? Share it far and wide, because I think it's really important, that we get the message out. All the information is there. It's just expanding that reach, so that everybody benefits from it. Morley, would you like to send us on our way with any parting words?
No, I think this has been a very tight but very revealing expose of what we're all about. Really appreciate everyone being here. CJ, you did an amazing job. Thank you. You're not always in the limelight, and you've maybe this is a new future for you. Will in the background and Laura in the background are just doing their usual mastery of things, but really enjoyed the give and take, and I think people got a real fair review of what we're all about, and look forward to any opportunities that we can be of assistance to people, either it's in the consulting arena or the classroom or the community. So really appreciate the chance to strut our stuff and share this wisdom with this group. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you all once again. I wish you a fantastic rest of the day, and hopefully I'll see you in my tutorial group if you join the training. So maybe I'll see you next month, and if not, I'll see you in Colorado. Looking forward to that. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks so much.